All right, hello YouTube. This is Hunter Serge of the Brawler Cafe, joined once again by
Letherna, hopefully with a functioning microphone this time.
Yeah, the issue that we had last time seems to be gone now. It's all remedied. There won't be incessant buzzing, and I will not have to spend like 3 hours in the editing bay trying to make it sound as good as possible.
I really wish I known it sounded that bad before.
Yeah.
Got an hour and 10 minutes into that video, but hey, hopefully it's fixed now.
It was just like, we did test ahead of time, but I didn't realize, wait, the buzzing is happening when I'm talking. That's going to be a problem. Didn't realize that until I was in the editing bay. But whatever, that's behind us. This is probably not going to be podcast length. I hope we can keep this one relatively short. Because
it's a mystery.
Because we do have a proper podcast starting up. That'll probably go up on Sunday. We're planning on recording on Friday with more people than just the two of us. So look forward to that. But today we are going to be going over the updated rulebook and what exactly has changed in it. And also some mistakes that did not get fixed or new mistakes. We'll cover both. We're all inclusive here.
Of course.
Oh, actually, this is one I forgot to screenshot. Right here up at the top, right above the card errata, visit our forums by clicking here. It's a link to the Bakugan.com homepage.
Wait, what?
No! Just above card errata.
Oh, no! I was about to say, wait, we don't have official forums.
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, I imagine that's a thing in the works, but you know,
I imagine it isn't.
Whatever.
I can't imagine them making forums in this day and age.
Well, who knows? Who knows, really?
It's fine. They make their own official Discord, and now Ventus Knight is only there.
All right. So first up, we have the card erratas. So the things we have here is every flow card is now errated, so that if this is not the first card you played this turn. The reason for this is if you say played a flow card and then change another flow card to it, you would get both cards' flow effects because it's only checking if you played, not resolved.
Correct.
So this errata makes it so all of the flow cards now function how they're intended to.
Yeah, the way we thought they did.
Yeah, exactly.
For most of us, I think both of us included, we've been playtesting and assuming for the last 6 months that flow only counted cards that resolved.
Yeah.
Because that's how other card games do it, and that theoretically makes sense.
Yeah.
However, we learned from Gary at MomoCon. I was not there for this personally, but I heard it from multiple other people, so I'm going to assume it was true, and it's also obviously verified by this rulebook change.
Yeah.
That flow counts cards played before they resolve.
Yeah.
Which created an important problem that this errata now fixes.
Yeah. But what this does also tell us is it tells us without shadow of a doubt that any card that says played is referring to just declaring the card, not resolving it. Which is important for, say, a scenario that happened on one of my test streams over the last week, where I had a scenario with the Pyrus Darkus Aurelius Chalk stack, where I went Hurricane Winds, Anger, and I had an Everett Ray that I want to chain to the Anger so that I would get the Fury effect.
Yes.
And in that scenario, it did not matter which way it worked because I had the 2 excess energy. But if I only had 3 energy and I went for that play, I would still be able to do it the same way.
Correct.
Because Everett would be 0, because we know that that's what play means now.
The other thing that's related to that, and I like that you brought that up, Aurelish Chalks, is that we now know that if the opponent plays an Evo removal, you can just chain your entire hand in Aurelish Chalks and get the bonuses anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing. Because remember when I said that and you said no, there's no way they do that. Hey, about that.
Okay, that's fair.
In response to your Wayne, I play my everything. And I win the turn.
Yeah. It's okay. You can just take a Trox hit, and then it's not a problem, right? It's not a problem, right?
But they played Bubble Net in their everything.
I mean, yeah, probably, yeah.
So,
but then you don't have to deal with it anymore, so it's fine. It's fine.
But they probably drew like 5 cards, and now they have another Evo to play.
Okay, but concept.
It could happen.
Concept. I know it can happen. I know you're very.
It could happen, and it will probably happen to me.
I was gonna say something. Oh right. I again don't think this is going to be an issue because like if you're say using Wayne against this sort of deck, because of how that deck functions, you're not going to be evolving Trox and then doing the plays with it on the same turn. You won't have the energy typically to do that sort of thing unless you had to dig a lot for your Trox, in which case you're probably in big trouble anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if they go off on turn 4 and I waned them on turn 4 because I had to play their Evo early, then, like, on turn 5, it's not entirely unreasonable for them to have 4 or 5 energy and go off while playing the Evo.
Yeah. So I was just saying, like, you would play Wayne on turn 4.
Yeah.
Pop him probably at the start of the turn.
It's fine. I'll just reduce the damage with Curse of Darkest. Oh, wait a minute.
I mean, it's not like you have to worry about your stops not working against Rerolls Trox.
Okay.
Unless
that's only the decks I play that have stops.
Unless, of course, you are running an Rerolls. Unless you are running specific stops to help you against Rerolls Titan, Dragon, or Ultra, because that's a well-designed card. That's a well-designed card. I mean, to be honest, considering what we know about set 3, I imagine every faction is. I wouldn't be surprised if every faction gets like a new 0 cost, or some get a new 0 cost, or new 1 cost that also work against Rerolls, since it's becoming a more normal faction.
Well, the thing is, do we know for sure? Well, I know we don't know for sure, but like, is it even really safe to assume that Orlus will get a 0 cost? I feel like it's going to fall into the flow trap.
I more meant other factions getting 0 costs or 1 costs that work against Rerolls, because Rerolls is now being considered a normal faction.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess those would be online more often, technically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's mainly what I was saying. The other stuff with the Errata, like all of this is just obvious erratas of misprints.
Diamond Fang's is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, but the one thing we want to mention here is that the two Niliuses do not mention their faction, which isn't going to be an issue for anyone who's familiar with the card pool, but for anyone new, that is going to be an issue. Yeah. And in addition to that, I find this one particularly hilarious. So you see the Maximus Dragonoid errata here.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, this was Maximus Dragonoid Ultra, which is obviously incorrect. And someone informed VK that, hey, it's not an Ultra. So I assume VK corrected it to Maximus Dragonoid. But then that's not the card's actual name. The card's actual name is Dragonoid Maximus, which honestly, I'm happy it's named Dragonoid Maximus instead of Maximus Dragonoid, because it does do something to reduce the confusion if Drago Core or Drago Ultra gets a Maximus Evo at some point in the future.
Meanwhile, Titan Dragonoid.
Yeah. Yeah. But the one other thing I'd say on Erratas is this should be its own page on the Bakugan site, preferably with dates saying, hey, this is when this errata was implemented. Basically very similar to the errata pages on the Vanguard and Buddy Fight sites.
I agree with that, but there's something else that I would put higher on the list of priorities than that.
What?
I think that the log itself should not be buried at the very bottom. Not the log, the rulebook itself should not be buried at the very bottom of the news and events page.
Oh yeah, that's an important change. That's
I
also an
think
important change.
maybe it deserves its own tab.
Yeah.
Maybe it shouldn't be like buried under the live premiere event that happened months ago, the other premiere that happened months ago, and
oh yeah, they didn't make any like new news posts for this. Wow, that's not great.
there was no actual announcement that this rulebook updated. I feel like that's important to note. It didn't actually
there was
get
on like Discord and stuff, but
I heard people saying that it was updated. I did not hear
no,
officially.
VK made a post on the Reddit Discord, at least there in the special channel that they made specifically for VK to put announcements in.
Okay, good. Okay, I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. It's there. All good. Thankfully.
It's all good.
Thankfully.
For that though, I would say like they should have like a journal like how to play /rules tab that takes you to a splash screen that can take you to stuff like basic rules, this complete rule book, a Q&A, since that's supposed to be a thing that's happening. Gary's demo, if they ever put that up, and the complete rules. Yeah, I think that would be the best change there.
I'd really like to see Gary's demo. He seemed very proud of it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Right, next up is they fixed the stupid thing about card sets determining if it's a different card or not. They changed it to the much more sensible decks may contain no more than 3 copies of each card identified by the card name in combination with the function of the card. I think this is basically the same. No, this isn't. No, I was thinking of Pokemon, but no, it's completely by name in Pokemon. But this fixes the issue with the promos and any sort of reprints that could happen in the future. I don't know
if I've ever seen a game worded this way before.
I feel like I've seen a game worded this way before, but I cannot think of it. I cannot think of what it was.
I mean, hey, listen, it's better than what we had, and it fixes the problem.
Though it's from stuff later on in the rulebook, it becomes clear that the original plan was for cards to have, at least for heroes, to have like a different secondary title section, like you would find on like say chaotic cards, because I have that on my mind right now, and Redakai cards.
I think I mentioned this in the last video that we did. But this is worth mentioning again, that Justin and Gary do not really have control over card names.
Yeah.
That's being done by, I assume, Spin Master.
Yeah.
More than it is by them. I think they maybe get to like make suggestions, but they're not directly naming the cards.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from there. What's the next one? Yes, free. The free section now makes it a lot more clear that hey, this cost can increase and decrease starting from 0.
Right.
So if there was any doubt about how that stuff with Frost Strike works,
this solves that problem forever. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Makes it nice and clean.
Then we've got the good old China Riot, a quickfire stuff.
I don't understand the wording of this explanation.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
I don't quite understand because
so for the unaware, it was like I feel like it was a month ago at this point that we got this initial.
Might have been longer, actually.
I think longer than I don't think it was more than a month though. But basically,
I'm not sure.
We were like, hey, does cards like China Riot that specifically increase the damage of an attack, does that affect cards like Quickfire that make an attack by an effect? And we're told no. Starting in set 4, we're going to be rewording those effects to specifically buff Bakugan attacks. Now, I do kind of still have an issue with that wording because we have stuff like Pyrus Hyper Serpentines core, which that's technically a Bakugan attack, right? Like
technically, I get that. Technically, an effect attack.
Yeah, I get the idea, but there's still a lot of room.
It's an attack from a Bakugan, so it should be made more clear.
Yeah, like, it should be like battle attack or something like that.
Yeah, or non-effect attack, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
On the Errata thing, all of those cards that work like that should be added to the Erratas to make that more clear.
I would
if
agree
they're
with that for
making this
sure.
change from set
I
4
think the
onwards.
big thing that confuses me is the sentence non-character cards do not have damage rating. And like I get what they mean.
Non-character cards and Evo cards.
Well, there's that, but also I get what they mean by this, but also Quickfire does have a damage rating on the card.
Yeah. I think the problem here is that they use the same symbol for things that refer to damage and things that refer to damage rating.
I don't think anything refers to damage as a concept that's not damage rating.
Well, that's the only way it really makes sense for stuff like Quickfire. Like,
well,
this needs to be clearer. That's basically what it comes down to.
The thing is, like, I get their intent, and I think most people will also get their intent if they have enough experience with this game already.
Yeah. But it should be made clear for newer players.
Yeah. Because, like, on the one hand, is it splitting hairs? Technically.
Technically.
But it's confusing because, like, Quickfire does have a damage rating on the card, but it's a non-modifiable damage rating is the point.
Yeah, and attacks don't really have a damage rating either.
Well, they do, I think.
Let's go down.
But I don't think anything has a damage. I think damage rating is just the term for damage.
Okay, so Double Strike does not double damage rating at the moment just before the attack. It doubles the damage.
Wait, it says doubles damage?
Yeah, it
doesn't say double damage rating?
Deals twice the amount of damage based on its damage rating all at once when it attacks.
Okay, yeah, now that's confusing because I thought the rulebook didn't refer to anything as damage.
No.
Okay, so it does. Yeah. Now I'm confused again.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
I don't remember what my original point that I was going into with that was, but I had one.
No, I see your point because the idea was that Quickfire has damage, not a damage rating.
Yeah, exactly.
That was your original point, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So, that explains it, I guess. But I guess it should be maybe like a small little addendum that says, like, these cards have damage, not damage rating.
Yeah.
To make it a little more obvious, because it's incredibly easy to read the card. This is
kind of a consequence of all the symbol stuff, to be honest.
Yes, that too. But overall, this is not new news. This is just a reconfirmation of how we were already told it works.
Yeah.
And rest in pieces, China Riot.
Yeah. Next up, we have a whole new section on rerolls. There isn't really much to talk about here. It's just the way that we know rerolls work. Reroll cards can't be... The reroll effects can't be used once the victor step has begun. If it's an optional reroll card, you can still use it for its other effects. And yeah, just other general stuff that we knew basically about rerolls.
Yeah,
it isn't really anything new. But
I mean,
a whole
it's
section
a
there
little new because there was a while where we thought that even something like Quickfire might be unplayable outside of the specific timing.
Yeah.
So this confirms that's not true.
That's the
which
one
is good.
That's important.
Because we are going by the resolve as much as you can school of thought here. So Quickfire can just do one damage without
if an effect
reroll.
Exceeds possibilities, it only does as much as possible.
Right. Which is good.
Yes. Okay, next up, Evo cards. Basically, it was added to the rulebook that, hey, there is no order of evolutions. There's no sequence. You can play Hypers on top of Titans, and you can play Hypers on top of Hypers. I would have liked if they specifically mentioned Diamonds, because that information has spread far and wide, and I don't think the information that's changed has spread as far.
Well, not yet. Definitely not yet. I think, honestly, I don't know if we'll get this. I would really like to see an official video on this subject.
Yeah. But the rolling videos haven't happened in a long time.
Good point. Good point.
Then there's the selection step. Now there's a bizarre thing here where the selection step effectively mentions the ruling that was made to fix Black Hole twice.
Yeah.
It's written a bit differently each time, and I don't know why it's here twice.
All right. I'm gonna assume, because like reading it over now, because I didn't really look over this specific thing before we started recording. Maybe point 2 is meant to reference issues outside of selection step for some reason.
But it's in
That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, but
I
it
don't
says
know.
if for
I
any
think
reason, I don't
think
know.
like okay, so one like I can see it being possible that hey, maybe something happens after you enter the selection step that could possibly like there's no way for this to happen in the current game, but maybe there could at some point. But in that case, you just remove 6.1.1 and just keep 6.1.2. That's the one that's the only one you actually need.
It's also worth pointing out that 6.1.2, I believe, is what we had before the rulebook update.
Yeah, that is correct.
So 6.1.1 is the addition, and yeah, it's a little confusing.
But yeah, at least this is here now. So do keep in mind that if it is not a team attack, Black Hole will still cause the losing Bakugan to stay opened. Which will speed up that side's team attack. Which is an interaction I like. I enjoy that. Oh, my favorite. Bakugan must be released within 2 vertical card lengths from the edge of the table, closest to the table to the player roll.
I go into the cage, I drop my Bakugan on the core, it's within 2 card lengths of the edge of the table. Your move.
But yeah, that's bizarre that that's still there. This was here in the original rule book. I went over that in my original book. It's somehow still not fixed, and I'm not sure if this was here in the original rule book. But if you go down to illegal Bakugan plays, you will find here when a Bakugan is rolled closer than 2 card lengths from the edge of the closest Bakucore in the Bakucore field is an illegal Bakugan roll. So
I guess both rules apply simultaneously.
I mean, we know it's a mistake. I asked VK specifically about this a couple of weeks ago, like back then I specifically said to VK, okay, so this is going to be fixed in the next rulebook, right? And he just gave me like a kind of brushing it off. Sure, it felt like.
I'll be fair. I think he probably thought it was going to be fixed. I don't know.
Yeah, but considering like VK so quickly got the Maximus thing, not correctly fixed, but
better.
I would think he was the one who sent it in the final thing. I don't know. It's weird. There's other weird stuff, of course.
For sure.
And I think we're done going over the actual changes, and I think we're just going to be going over the weird stuff now.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I still want to like get a really big table out and just make it completely illegal to roll because you can't roll in this distance in these 2 distance rules simultaneously.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the last one, yes, this is the last one I want to go over. This was in the original rulebook, but I did not specifically go over it. And there are some people who have been around for a long time, including you, I believe, that you didn't know this until I pointed it out. That team attack does specifically combine the damage ratings of all the Bakugan and make that the damage rating of the active Bakugan.
I've known that for a little while, but I did not know that like in the beginning in like December or something in January.
Yeah, and I know Lucas did not know that until like literally yesterday.
Who?
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an important thing to keep in mind. Hence why Double Strike has the interaction it does.
Yeah. And from there, we just have the weird stuff. We just have all the weird stuff. So first up, here in the Victor step, we have the start of the Victor step begins when the Bakugan with the highest B power rolled from the brawl phase is declared the victor, and then 1 with nothing after it.
It's a very important rule.
And then what's the next one after that? Oh, right. The last shard of the MTG rulebook copy pasting is still not removed.
Which part?
From in completing effects, 7.1.6, if the above 605.1a to 605.1b e are all men decided, the effect leaves the batch and takes place.
Hmm.
So that was not fixed.
Well, the other thing that I still want to know, and this, before we get into more mistakes, I think this is somewhat relevant because this is something that we still don't know how it works, even after this, with the batch. Because we still don't know how certain effects enter the batch.
Yeah.
Like a card from Dan.
Yeah.
Or the copy of an effect from Absorb.
Okay,
sure.
so this was actually in the rulebook before, but there is a section on the rulebook specifically on copying that specifically says a copied effects enter the batch as a separate card.
Right, but does it enter the batch in progress or does it enter a new batch?
So obviously this isn't anything concrete, but how I imagine it would go is, so in the case of Absorb, I believe it would always enter the current batch. I think how it would go is if the copy effect is the last thing that happened in that batch, like it's the final thing to resolve the batch, then it would be a new batch. But if there's still things to go in the batch, then it would be added on to the current batch.
Right. It's just, and this is confusing for me because it's things that I've only heard like other people imply that Gary said on the last day MomoCon when I wasn't there.
All right.
Which makes it hard to treat this as concrete because I'm not sure if, like, you know, did they hear him correctly?
Yeah.
Did they repeat it correctly? Did they remember it correctly? You know.
Yeah.
But there was an implication that everything enters the same batch in progress regardless.
All right.
Which would mean, like, a card coming off of Dan's effect would jump into the batch immediately after Dan and resolve before anything else in the batch did.
All right.
Which, again, I don't want to say that that's official. Like, if I heard Gary say that, I would say that it's reliable, but I wasn't there.
If, say, what I said is true, like, there's no real difference between the last card of the batch putting something into a new batch or putting something into the same batch. That's effectively the same thing happening because the batch was
but
empty
the
when
other
that thing was put in.
Very important difference, and this is the thing that I don't think this covers, and if it does, I missed it. Sorry, but I didn't catch it, and I don't think you did either. So hopefully we didn't just miss it. There's nothing in here that says whether or not you can respond to things or play more things into a batch while it's resolving.
Okay, so there's nothing that says this clearly.
Right. And we've been assuming that you can't.
No. I'm actually pretty sure you can. Let me go find it.
I don't know. In my playtesting, I've been assuming you can't for the last 6 months. Like, once a batch started resolving, you just had to let it go. But technically, I don't know if the rulebook says either way.
Like, it isn't actually super clear either way.
Right.
But
it's
there is a thing where the batch mentions that. Oh, where is the section on the batch? Where is it? .4. Okay, I really hate the way the rulebook is written out now because it like makes it way harder to actually find specific things because you can't search by 4.4 because that won't bring you to anything but the things that are referencing 4.4.
Yeah, the old formatting was a bit better for searching.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, here we are. Okay, so here it is. Once both players pass priority and don't add to the batch, the card or ability at the end of the batch resolves. Repeat this for each card or ability on the batch using priority rules.
Right.
So the fact that it even references priority rules at all has me going, okay, then that must mean that it goes
that you
back
can
to being able to add stuff onto the batch.
I kind of thought it was referencing like the order of resolution.
Yeah, but that's not priority rules. Priority
you're
rules
right.
is
Well,
who
I mean,
would be
part
able
of
to
it
play
is,
cards.
but
Like
yeah,
the order things are on the batch. It's the order things that are they're on the batch. And it has nothing to do with
you're
priority
right.
rules.
Okay, I mean that lines up with what people said Gary said. So I'll choose to believe that. That makes sense to me.
All right, so let's just knock out the rest of the odd errors in here. We have in the additional rules section at the very top, we have one general and then 7.1.1 and nothing more in that point.
And then a lot of things with strike through.
Is there anything else before that we need to?
I don't.
No, it's
I
just
don't
the
think
strike
so.
through stuff. Now it's just the strike through stuff. Okay.
And it's. I think it's just like
this is in the card anatomy section. So we have the section on art credit, Evo rating, Evo ID, and Hero ID all strike through. Somehow didn't get completely removed before it came to the final version. But this gives us some information on how the card frame seemed to be different initially.
Right, because we don't have art credit for starters.
Yeah.
From what we've been told, it's being done by like a company.
Yeah.
And therefore, technically, they just credit the company somewhere on their site, and that's why they don't have to credit any individual artists.
Yeah. Which I'm not a terribly big fan of. But that's also why we wind up with really weird things like Shield of the Faithful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shield of the Faithful is hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me just pull it up for anyone who isn't aware.
Your mic just cut out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Again. Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. I'm just pulling up Shield of the Faithful so for everyone at home so that you can bask in the glory that is this card art that just pastes in the hero arts, the default arts of Dan, the Wenton, Shine, and Lightning behind this big shield. It's the funniest art in the game.
But yeah, none of this stuff that strike through is actually things that we have because we don't have Evo rating.
Yeah, we don't.
So one or more
the
star
Evo rating
symbols
thing is really weird to me because, like, what could that possibly refer to if there was? Okay, so no, the Evo stuff isn't something that isn't something that Gary said was never in the rules, right?
We never. Okay, the Evo stuff when it comes to like the Evo chain, he said was never in the rules.
Okay.
But this Evo ID stuff is very separate, I think.
Well, the Evo ID is just like telling you like probably its name, the name of the character card it goes on top of.
Yeah.
And like we can see that on the Japanese cards.
Yeah, right.
But the Evo rating,
Evo rating is like the damage symbol thing the Japanese card has, but that's just damage rating.
No, it's not. It's like, okay, so it says like one or more star symbols. So like the only thing that actually makes sense for me is if this was like related to Hypers, Titans, Maximus, Diamond, etc. That's the only thing that actually makes sense.
It's hard to guess at.
Yeah. But that's the thing that makes the most sense to me.
Right.
But that would basically require that the Evo chain did exist at some point, and it's
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I don't know. Also, I would have liked to have Hero ID.
I would have liked to have Hero ID and Evo ID.
Those would have been nice to have.
Like, I think you could easily no. Okay, I think I know why these disappeared. It's because of the multilingual cards.
Oh, yeah.
That space for the multiple names.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first argument I actually get behind on the multilingual cards maybe not being the best idea.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually behind that argument because like losing these is not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could have done like 2 language cards.
But then
for
again,
sure.
no, actually, no, because all
We
of
could've-
these. Okay, so like on the multilingual cards, the cards that actually have multiple names aren't the ones that are character names. It's all the stuff like actions and flips and stuff like that.
They all
That are
have.
like
Do all the
actual
heroes
words.
and evos have just one name?
Yeah, they all have the one name.
Then we
It's
could have
just a
kept
character
this.
name.
Then we could have
Huh?
kept this easily.
Yeah, we could have
This
easily
wouldn't have conflicted at all.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not because of that. So like,
It has
I
nothing
don't
to
know
do
why
with
they
multilinguals.
got rid
We
of
could have
that.
just had
That's
it.
stupid.
I don't know. I guess maybe like someone could have looked at the card and said this looks too cluttered.
Yeah, but like, I
I don't know.
I can't. If that's too cluttered, then the multilingual names on the actions and flips are too cluttered.
Well, I mean that's kind of a given, isn't it?
Yeah, but
To a degree.
Also, just one last thing on this section that I do want to point out is that
Sure.
in the example they gave for Hero ID, they used Dan's original name.
Oh, so they did.
Yeah.
Well, from what I was told and like how long that this part has been in development, this was probably written before they decided to change his name.
Oh yeah, of course. It just makes it super bizarre that this section, this strike through section, didn't make it into the original rule book, but somehow made it into this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like I remember in the original rulebook, in the table of contents, these sections were referenced.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But they weren't actually in it. They were just up there and they didn't go anywhere.
Maybe VK or whoever at Spin Master had taken them out in the original rulebook that got posted, but in the new rulebook that got posted, and forgot the table to take them out of the table of contents in that version. But in this one, maybe the one that Justin, Gary, and all of them have, the design team hasn't taken this out and just has them in as strike throughs. And VK did not, or whoever at SM did not take those strike through sections out.
Yeah, that seems to be the likely case here.
But nonetheless, this should be changed because it looks very sloppy.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, I feel like if we don't say this at some point, we're gonna hit that sweet 66% again.
Did we even hit that on the last video?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna go check that right now.
I check YouTube comments.
I'm gonna go check that right now. What our like ratio was on that one.
If someone has something they want to say to me,
oh no, it was 17. It was 17 likes to 3 dislikes. So
okay,
easy.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like it's worth pointing out now that we're about at the end of this that this is overall a positive thing that happened.
Of course.
Like we did dedicate the last, hopefully only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll fix that in post. To talking about the things that are confusing.
Yeah.
Alongside the things that are good. Or, the things that are changes and clarifications. But at the end of the day, I feel the need to say, this is good that we're getting this. And this was a positive thing that I'm glad we did get. I don't know why it took so long after MomoCon.
I don't know why this looks like it didn't get proofread.
Yeah, there's some confusing bits here.
SM is way too big of a company to not be proofreading things.
It feels like there's definitely still some road bumps being hit between the devs and Spin Master.
Well,
I feel like we have not resolved
let's say, for example, that this stuff hasn't been taken out properly of the version the devs have as a potential example of why this could happen. Maybe because of the stuff that's happened, BK was like, okay, I'll just put it up exactly as they give it to me.
Sure, yeah.
But not. No one wants you to leave in the things that are obvious errors. Like,
listen, it's fine. It's fine. They give us a handy link to submit our corrections.
Yeah. Oh man. You know what would be hilarious?
If we actually get a form?
Okay, no,
that would be hilarious.
If the next actual version of the rulebook goes back to to Maximus Dragonord Ultra. Because as a change VK made.
Oh, that's very possible. It
in
wouldn't
theory,
surprise me.
That wouldn't be a change on the devs end.
Right, yeah. Well, the thing is, again, the devs don't name the cards, so for all they know, that could have been what they thought the name was.
Yeah. Well, regardless, that's it. That's all we have to talk about. This is nearly a half hour.
Oh no.
But we tried to keep it quick.
It's fine. It'll be 10 minutes when you see it, maybe.
No, absolutely
maybe.
not. They've been
Could
here
be.
for a half hour.
I don't know.
As I said, we've got a proper podcast coming on Sunday. I will leave the guests as a surprise. But I've been in contact with them for a while because I intended to get this going months ago, back in February. But that will be coming on Sunday, as long as nothing prevents the recording session from happening. And I probably won't be doing any testing streams this week because I'll be too busy watching E3.
Yeah.
But I will be. I'll probably get the trucks video out this week. So look forward to that, I guess.
I mean,
what's that A about? I don't understand what that A is for.
We don't have to get that video out this week.
Okay, it's this again. Okay, we're cutting this off before we get into this again. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Till next time.